Hello and welcome to my channel. Please do well to hit the subscribe button, like and turn on the notification bell so as not to miss out on any news update. On today's episode, we'll be revealing some of the royal family's most jaw-dropping scandals. At number 1, King Edward VIII rejected the crown in 1936 so he could marry a divorced American woman. Directly after his father died in 1936, Edward VIII took the throne. Less than a year later, he renounced it. That's because he had fallen hard for Wallis Simpson, an American socialite who'd already been divorced once and was working through her second. His proposal of marriage caused social and political uproar, since the Church of England technically forbade Edward from marrying someone who'd been divorced. Eventually, Edward was forced to abdicate. "I have found it impossible to carry the heavy burden of responsibility and to discharge my duties as king without the help and support of the woman I love," he said in a radio address to the nation in December 1936. Edward and Simpson married in 1937 and stayed together until Edward's death in 1972. And she wasn't the only commoner who married into royalty. Number 2. Princess Margaret fell in love with a married man. Captain Peter Townsend was a Royal Air Force officer who served as an equerry, essentially an attendant to the royal family. He spent a great deal of time with Margaret, and before long, the two fell in love. The only problem was that he was married. Things got even more scandalous in 1953 when Townsend divorced his wife and proposed to Margaret. But the rules of the Church of England forbade such a marriage. After all, Margaret's uncle Edward VIII had to relinquish the throne in order to marry a divorcee. The relationship came to a heartbreaking close in 1955 when they called off the engagement. There was simply no way for Captain Townsend and Princess Margaret to have a happy ending. Her eventual marriage to a different man ended in a high-profile divorce. Not long after calling things off with Townsend, Margaret married photographer Anthony Armstrong Jones. It was the first royal wedding to ever be televised. A few years later, their union became a source of growing public ridicule, according to the New York Times. They fought in public, Margaret took long vacations without her husband, and rumors swirled around her close friendship with a man 17 years her junior. In 1976, the couple announced their separation, and 2 years later, they were officially divorced. Margaret became the first royal to divorce since Henry VIII, who reigned way back in the 1500s. Number 3. Princess Diana and an alleged lover were secretly recorded on the phone. In 1992, while Prince Charles and Princess Diana were still married, media outlets published the transcript of a conversation between Diana and an alleged lover named James Gilbey. In the conversation, Gilbey told Diana that he loved her and called her by the pet name Squidgy 53 times. That's how the scandal earned the memorable moniker Squidgygate. Later, in an interview, Diana confirmed that the conversation was real, but denied that it was adulterous in nature. Number 4. The same thing happened to Diana's husband, Prince Charles. Not long after Diana's leaked phone call, Prince Charles, Queen Elizabeth's oldest son, had one of his own. An Australian magazine published the transcript of a call between Charles and Camilla Parker Bowles, a longtime married friend. The transcript all but confirmed what many rumors had postulated, that Charles and Camilla were romantically involved. In one of the more confounding parts of the conversation, the couple jokes about Charles turning into a tampon in order to live inside Camilla's trousers. Later that year, Charles and Diana announced their separation. Then Diana gave a bombshell TV interview and the marriage finally collapsed for good. In 1995, Diana sat down for a tell-all solo interview with journalist Martin Bashir to talk about the immense pressures of public life and her struggles with self-harm, postpartum depression, and bulimia. She also revealed that she knew about Charles's affair with Camilla. "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded," she famously quipped. And Diana even admitted that she'd been unfaithful to Charles, saying that she had been in love with James Hewitt, her writing instructor. A few weeks after the interview, the Queen herself urged her son and daughter-in-law to divorce, and the following year, they made it official. Charles and Camilla, on the other hand, wed in 2005 and are still together. Number 5. Princess Anne divorced her husband and married a member of the royal staff. Princess Anne, the only daughter of current Queen Elizabeth II, married Olympic equestrian Mark Phillips in 1973. But the couple spent large swaths of time apart and didn't appear to be happy. People magazine described the marriage as a joyless sham. Then, in spring 1989, a British newspaper obtained stolen copies of letters written to and by one of her equerries, a British naval officer named Timothy Lawrence. Though the content of the letters wasn't made public, tabloids described them as extremely intimate and too hot to handle. In 1992, Anne announced that she was divorcing Phillips and that she planned to marry Lawrence. The two have been together ever since. Number 5. Paparazzi caught Sarah Ferguson in a compromising toe-licking incident. Sarah Ferguson, popularly known as Fergie, married Queen Elizabeth's son Prince Andrew in 1986. 6 years later, scandal erupted. Paparazzi photographers captured Fergie vacationing with an American financial advisor named John Bryan. In one photo, an image quickly plastered on the front page of The Sun, Bryan appeared to be licking Fergie's foot. Things didn't go very well after that. Fergie and Andrew separated in 1992, the same year as Charles and Diana, and divorced in 1996. Number 7. Prince Harry spent a day, yes, a single day, in rehab. After admitting to his father that he'd tried marijuana, a 17-year-old Prince Harry spent a day at the Featherstone Lodge Rehabilitation Centre in London. A statement from the royal family said Harry had agreed to visit the clinic to learn about the possible consequences of starting to take cannabis. Number 8. After months of rumors, Harry and Markle announced they were taking a step back from royal life in 2020. The announcement said they intend to step back as senior members of the royal family and work to become financially independent, while continuing to fully support Her Majesty the Queen. They also wrote that they would split their time between North America and the UK. The Royal Communications Office followed up with a statement of their own. Discussions with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are at an early stage, the Queen's statement read. We understand their desire to take a different approach, but these are complicated issues that will take time to work through. The couple carried out their last official royal engagement at the annual Commonwealth Day service in London in March 2020. They later bought a home in California. In March 2021, Markle and Harry gave a tell-all interview to Oprah Winfrey about their rift with the royal family, revealing one bombshell after another. Markle told Winfrey that Kate Middleton made her cry the week of her wedding over a flower girl dress and not the other way around, as had been reported in tabloids. She also said members of the royal family had concerns and conversations about how dark Archie's skin would be before he was born, and the firm told them that Archie wouldn't receive a title or security, breaking from protocol. She also opened up about having suicidal thoughts amid constant tabloid criticism and racism, and said a senior member of the royal institution wouldn't let her seek help. Harry revealed that his family cut him off financially in the first quarter of 2020, and that Prince Charles stopped taking his phone calls before they announced they were stepping back from the royal family. He also said that it hurts that the royal family never acknowledged tabloids' racist treatment of Meghan Markle, and that none of the royal family members have reached out to apologize for the reasons he felt he had to leave. Number 9. Prince Andrew was stripped of his royal patronages and military titles and will defend himself from sexual assault allegations as a private citizen instead of a royal. In August 2021, Virginia Giuffre Roberts filed a lawsuit against Prince Andrew accusing him of sexual assault. She alleges that Jeffrey Epstein forced her to have sex with Prince Andrew in his New York mansion, in London, and on Epstein's private island in the U.S. Virgin Islands in 2001 when she was 17. The day after U.S. District Judge Lewis A. Kaplan said the Duke's motion to dismiss Giuffre's lawsuit was denied in all respects, Buckingham Palace released a statement announcing that Andrew would no longer hold his royal patronages and military titles. With the Queen's approval and agreement, the Duke of York's military affiliations and royal patronages have been returned to the Queen, a spokesperson for Buckingham Palace said in a statement sent to Insider. The Duke of York will continue not to undertake any public duties and is defending this case as a private citizen. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to leave comments and to like and subscribe. Thank you.